Welcome again to the Daily Motivational. I hope you had a very blessed Monday and that on this Tuesday you're ready to face the world and do exciting things. I just want to ask you one simple question. What did you read today? Do you know that reading is very important because it is one of the greatest ways of feeding your mind? And if you don't have any good books to read, probably the best book to start with is the Bible. You've got 66 books to choose from there. But you should be reading. Now, Solomon said this. He said, read out loud with understanding and lift up your voice for insight. Try to obtain her like silver and search for her as for hidden treasures. Did you notice again the connection between understanding and insight and wisdom and speech, words? There is such a power in our words. And I'm going to be releasing a book one of these days called Speak and Grow Wealthy, where I'm going to explain to you in far more detail how powerful our words are. And one of the most powerful things you can do when you read is to read out loud. Try it sometime. Take a Bible passage in the morning before you start the day. Don't just rush through quickly and say, let me read the word quickly. Take a small passage and read it out loud and listen to yourself as you speak those words. And you'll be amazed what seems to come out and what you feel within as you speak out loud those words. What exactly is Solomon saying here, apart from telling us to read out loud? Apart from telling us to keep speaking words, lifting up your voice, because in the middle of conversation, truths pop out. While you're discussing things with people, wisdom pops out, ideas come out. Haven't you ever noticed that as you're sitting discussing something with somebody, suddenly an idea will come to your mind? It's one of the most powerful ways of getting new ideas is to share. There's a principle known as brainstorming, where people all pull their ideas and you share and you talk and things come out. But what Solomon was actually saying here, apart from that, was this. He was saying, do not seek wealth first. Yes, I know. We all want to be rich. Yes, I know. You opened a business and started your own business so that you could make a lot of money and become wealthy. But if that is the main thing that you are seeking and trying to accomplish, there's another verse that Solomon tells us where he says, you know what? If you look for money, it takes wings and it flies away. We all know that one only too well, don't we? Don't seek wealth primarily. What you must seek is the things that will produce wealth. I'll say that again. Don't seek wealth primarily, but seek the things that will produce wealth. Well, what is going to produce wealth? Well, we've been looking at it for the last 2 days now. Wisdom, understanding, insight, ideas, good ideas. Every single person who has made a fortune in business came up with a business idea. And he took that idea and put it into practice and made it into money. Now you need to read and you need to speak. You need to mutter, as we saw yesterday. And you need to continually tap and pour out what comes from your spirit within. You need to dig deep. Solomon says you should be seeking for these things like you're digging in the ground for silver, like you're digging for diamonds and hidden gems. See, you sometimes find these things lying on the ground in certain places, but it's not very common. Most of the time, if you're going to find a good diamond, a valuable gemstone, you're going to have to dig in the ground until you find it. But your mind is like that ground, and your spirit is like that ground. You need to dig deep. You need to dig with it, and it's going to take a bit of effort to do that. But if you will do it with the same kind of motivation that a prospector has to try and find gold, to try and find silver, to try and find rich gemstones and diamonds, if you have that same enthusiasm, do you know what? you might just find that diamond. You might find that ruby. You might find a valuable stone. You might find a piece of silver. It's all sitting there deep down inside of you, waiting to be discovered. You've got to discover it on your own. You've got to bring it out. And if you discover these things and you bring them out, what do you have in your hands? You say, well, oh, that's great. I got all these brilliant ideas, but I'm still poor. Yes, but now you have the tools that you need to become wealthy. Seek those things first. Develop them. Find them. Pull them out. Put them together. Write them down. Start to accumulate them together. And eventually you will have a picture will come together. And you'll say, I know exactly now how to go out and make a lot of money. I know exactly how to become rich and wealthy. I know how to succeed in business. Read books. There's other people who have discovered these gems, and you can discover some of their gems. Read the Bible. The Bible is full of gems. And then tap into what is already inside of you. You have read so many things. You have heard so many things during your lifetime. And so many of these things have escaped your memory, but they're still sitting down, deep down inside there. They're still waiting just to be tapped. You say, well, I clean forgot. I remember reading that somewhere once. I clean forgot about it. But now, as you remember it and you bring it up out again, suddenly it becomes a valuable gemstone. When you first put it in, you didn't think it was that valuable. But now suddenly it comes to life. Sit down and recall the many things that you have learned over your lifetime. And you'll be amazed to find that you already have within yourself everything that you'll ever need to succeed in business and to become wealthy. Now, why don't you go and do that today? And I'll see you again tomorrow.